Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, it has been actually been quite a busy day today, hasn't it? All rushing around and looking around this new plane, plus all the other stuff that I've had to do, trying to get some videos done and videos out just to help people get everything together so they can get up and flying really fast and easy. On this video we're going to have a look at a startup from cold and dark, and we're going to look at programming the FMC with a nice little flight plan to Los Angeles, putting in SIDS and stars and waypoints. But the first thing we're going to do is jump in and get this bird all fired up and ready to go, ready to taxi to the hold short. So the first thing we're going to come do is just come down here. Now this is just basic, okay, just for beginners, just so you can get up and flying and do a few things. It's certainly not advanced because I'm not advanced. We're going to open the cargo doors and the main door so that passengers can trolley out and climb on board. And we're also going to turn on the ground power there. We'll come back to this a little bit later on. Now we're going to come up to the top and we're going to turn on our main power. You'll hear a few things fire up, a few systems, and everything will be underway. Now you can see here we've got ground power available, so we're going to turn that on, and a few lights come on, a few more sounds, all very, very exciting, and we now are running on ground power. So you'll see the T's and all the displays here. They're going through a self-test, okay? All the MFDs and everything are all going through a self-test. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a basic flight plan into the FMC. So we'll come down here. Here is our beautiful FMC here. I'm just going to put a real basic flight plan in from KSAN to KLX, and if you've never done this before, if you feel a little bit lost, then I would suggest you follow me exactly, do it a couple of times as a practice, and then run away and do your own flight plans. They will probably be better flight plans than mine anyway. Okay, so let's get going. Let's get started on a basic flight plan. We're going to hit on FMS 1, okay. And we're going to click on the initiation. Now the first thing we need to do is align the IRS. It's nothing like the 737, so we're going to go to position init. We will find our GPS coordinates here, and we need to take them up and drop them into our position inits here. See all the zeros? That means it's empty. So we'll hit the soft key there, and we'll drop that into the top line there. Okay, and that is our position all done. So come back to return, and that's clicking away and doing its thing. We can go to flight plan, and we go to route, and we're going to go from KSAN to KLX. So let's put that in there, KSAN/KLAX. So we'll drop that into there. It just takes about 10 or 20 seconds to pop into there. And while that's doing its thing, we'll put a flight ID, flight number in there. Let's put jet in JI1072. Now I think I'm safe in presuming everything I do in this ATR 72 will be exactly the same for the smaller plane, the smaller version, the 42. I'm not sure, but I think I'm quite safe in assuming that. Okay, so KSAN to KLX, we will execute that. Now we've got some discontinuities here already, so we need to put in our departure and our runway. So we'll go to KSAN, and we're going to depart runway 27, so we'll drop that into there. And we also need a departure, so let's come down and look for a SID or a star for a departure. We'll come down and we'll use Padres. Okay, Padres. Let's click on Padres. Okay. There. Return. We've done KSAN, the runway 27 and the departure. Let's go to KLAX. Okay. KLAX, we're going to land runway 25 right. So we go to next. 25. Where is that? 25 left, 25 right. Okay, 25 right. Okay, now let's look for an arrival SID, or a star, should I say. So we're looking down here. We'll go to next page. Next, next, next. We've got Zoomer A3. Let's click on Zoomer A3 and we'll execute that. So that's our departure and arrival all done, and there's our waypoints there. Click through next. We should have a discontinuity, and there it is right there. So let's hit clear and we'll click it on the discontinuity. That'll go. Execute. Now we've got our waypoints in here all the way to runway 25 right. Okay, so here are our waypoints. We're going to change some of these. There are too many waypoints. We don't need these. I'm going to take some of them out. And I've got a waypoint worked out on my other screen. So Winfield, Colonel, Jin. Winfield, Colonel, June. Okay, that's all okay. We'll click next. Padres, that's good. That's our departure. Shell, I don't want Shell. So I'm going to clear that one and execute. Padres, after Padres, I want Hemin. So I'm going to put, HFM N. I'm going to put that in after Padres. So I'll click on Fogler and that'll replace Fogler. Execute. Fogler's actually just jumped down a notch. Now I'm going to put another one in there. TRNDO. TRNDO. So I'm going to put that over the top of Fogler. Fogler will be pushed down a little bit. Eventually we're going to get rid of Fogler completely. Okay, so after TRNDO I want Honda. So that HUNDA. Honda. I'm going to put that over the top of Fogler. That'll push Fogler down again. Next page we have got Grimmy. I do not want Grimmy. I want Giggy. So I'm going to put in GIGII. I'm going to put that over Grimmy. Execute that. Now I don't want Grimmy, so let's push clear and get rid of Grimmy. Execute. Now let's go back, and Fogler is still there, so I'm going to hit clear, get rid of Fogler, execute. Okay, so let's go through all our waypoints. KSAN runway 27. 1, 2, 3. Next page. Padres. HFM. TRN. HUND. Giggy. GIGII. Next page. Runway 25 right, and a couple of missed approach waypoints there. Okay, so that is our flight plan all done. We can go to performance, hit performance. Now down here you've got the speeds for your V1, VR and V2. Now to find these, we need to go over to our little screen here. We go to performance. Now up here in these three boxes you will see our takeoff speeds and our VR and V1 and V2 speeds. So what we're going to do is take those over and put them in the FMC. 104, 104, 110. Okay, so let's come back down here. We put them into here. Okay. Okay, so we had 104, 104, and 110. There we go. Performance in it. Nothing we need to put in there at this stage because we are just beginners and I'm just trying to learn the basics of getting started. Nothing we need to do there. So let's go back to our flight plan and let's leave our screen set up there ready to go. Now we're going to turn our engines on very soon, so what we're going to do before we do that, we're all ready to get things started. So we're going to come into our little screen here again, aircraft. We're going to close the doors, the cargo doors. We're going to leave our wheel chocks on for now and our ground power until we actually have our engines up and running. Let's check where our throttles are. Now right down the bottom my throttle is hard down and that seems to be in reverse thrust, so I'm going to bring it up a bit so when I start the engine it's not already into reverse thrust. There's a little wee fine white line there, so that's where I'm going to leave the throttle sitting there. Okay, now this is our park brake. This lever here is the it's a sort of a lock for all our moving surfaces, and the reason it locks the moving surfaces is so any wind gusts and strong winds don't flap around and the rudders and flap around and do any external damage. So it locks everything in place, but later on we will actually turn that off. In fact, we can probably turn that off right now. Okay, so let's come up to the overhead here. We're still running on ground power, but we're going to fire up some engines. So first thing we're going to do is going to switch our engine start switch around to start ABC. Switch it around there, is it? A and B, okay. Engine A and B, switch that around there. And we'll turn on the fuel pump to our right engine. And we'll go ahead and hit the start switch for our right engine. And we should start to see the numbers coming up here. And we'll start to see this propeller winding up. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks incredible, doesn't it? That's the magic, guys. That's the magic right there. Hear that propeller? That is awesome. Okay, so what we're supposed to do is when the numbers come up here, up past 25, we're supposed to bring this fuel pump up, but for some reason there is a bit of a bug. It is doing weird and wonderful things and it won't really do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of them up to the idle position, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the left engine. Hit the left engine starter, and hopefully we will see those numbers start to come up. Here we go, they're coming up, and I won't need to flick the fuel levers onto idle because they are both there already. I know that's not the correct way, but it seems to be the only way that I can get things to actually work at the moment. Whether some of these little things will be fixed in an update, I expect they will be, unless of course there's something that I have done wrong in my setup. It could be a configuration or setup problem for me with my controls, but anyway, that's the way it works at the moment. Beautiful, love those propellers. Okay, so we can bring our throttle up a little bit to the idle. Now when I hold it right down here, it seems to go into reverse thrust. That is a good thing, I suppose, but I just want it sitting about there. There's a very fine little white line there just above the reverse thrust, so that's where I'm going to sit it at the moment. Now this is my park brake here, that is on. This sort of locks all my control surfaces outside, so that if there's any wind, heavy wind or wind gusts, the flaps and things don't just shake around and get damaged. So that sort of locks everything down. All the moving parts are locked into position with that lock there. Okay, so we can actually take that off now. I won't take the parking brake off at the moment. So if we come over here, we will look, we still have our chocks, we still have our ground power on. But our engines are running beautifully. We can flick off that ground power. And up here you can see the ground power is off. But there's a few things we should have on here. Our beacon light, that is always on. I think that is a bug or something wrong. We should be able to flick that on. Taxi lights, let's put that on. Seatbelts lights should be on. Emergency exit, that can be armed. And you'll notice a lot of other things that need to be turned on as well. Basically everything that is lit up needs to be unlit or turned on. Hydraulic power switches up here. Our oxygen, our windshield heat there, probe heat here, de-ice. Okay, so all of those switches are good. They are all good and done, and we are clear to basically get some taxiing going. All our systems are going through a self-test and firing up. Now at this stage we can also set our altitude. As soon as this display here is finished firing up and running on engine power, we'll see the display and we can go ahead and set up our cruise altitude, our climb out altitude. There it is there. It's going to appear in here once we adjust it. So here's our cruise altitude. I'll set our altitude up. Very hard to see actually. I come down here, have a look. 1,500. We want to go up higher than that, so we'll keep turning this. And we'll see how we've got that. It is at 5,000 feet. We can leave it there for now, and we can bring it a little bit up a little bit more later. Okay. Also our flaps. If we come down here, we will see our flaps display here. We're going to set those down to 15, and that's just going to be, if you've got your flaps assigned to a button, hit the button just once, okay? And you'll see these flaps coming down, and you'll see them here 15, flaps 15. So that is all set. Now the power management, that is set to TO for takeoff. And we are ready to go ahead and get clearance for departure and some pushback.
Clearance delivery jet and Juliet India 1028 ready to copy IFR clearance to Los Angeles.
And if you fly for Jet Airways, I will try to do a group flight this weekend, hopefully Sunday. See how my time schedule goes. If I can, we'll do a group flight on Sunday, and I'll probably be back on my 737-700. I love my 737s as much as I'm really enjoying this. The 737 will always be my go-to, I think, my favorite aircraft. Oh, we're getting pushed back now. I got the little buggy connected to the front there. No jockey riding it, but that's fine. That is fine. Finally he found us and he connected up. Let's push Control P and the pushback tug will stop. Thank you, mate. That is very cool. Thank you. Right, well that's it on this video, guys. Today on this video we just covered a cold and dark startup and we programmed our FMC with our SIDs and stars and waypoints to head up the coast from KSAN to KLX. And I suggest you just copy what I did. If you can do some improvements on the flight plan, that is well and good, but just copy what I did from KSAN to KLX just to get the hang of where everything is. Okay, there's a lot more details, a lot more stuff in depth we can get into with the FMC. I am just starting, I'm just a beginner, so I'm just sharing what I have learnt, and hopefully it will help you get up and started as well. I've got a long way to go, and you're more than welcome to hit the like, make a comment and subscribe, and follow along with me. If you're a learner just like me, well, let's grow and learn and develop our skill together. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next video. Happy flying. Hope you're enjoying your new plane. Cheers.